Hey everyone, in today's video I'm going to attempt to fix these Magnepan MG2 speakers. Now I say attempt because they work mostly, but on this speaker right here, the tweeter wire has an open circuit, so there's no high frequencies coming out of it. And this one here, it's got some buzzing coming from it, which might be delamination of wires. I restored a pair of MG1s earlier, and I actually started this channel with it. And I've got some extra parts right here. I've got some extra glue, a lot of extra tweeter wire, and a few other little odds and ends that might make it so I might be able to get these working without buying a brand new rebuild kit for Magnepan. I might be able to just replace the tweeter wire on this speaker, and I might be able to remove some of the old glue on this speaker and then put some new glue on it, and then that might get rid of some of the buzzing issues. So without further ado, I'll start taking these apart and we'll see what they look like on the inside. I'm going to start with the right speaker. Okay, so this is an OG MG2. It is not a MG2A or B, it's an MG2. In fact, it's so original that if you look down here, it doesn't even have a place for a fuse like most of these do. It just has a, flathead screw speaker wire connection. So that's pretty interesting. This is a very old Magnepan, one of the oldest. Now, something I did not do with the MG1s when I rebuilt them that I ended up paying for later was I did not mark the fronts of these wood frame pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a sticky note right here. That'll tell me that is the front. I'll do the same thing with these pieces here. And then just to make my life easy, I will write L for left and R for right on those. That's going to be self-explanatory. Well, okay, fine. I'll put T right there. And then if I ever need to take off this bottom one, then it'll be the unmarked one. Okay, for those of you who really want it, there. Bottom. Now, to take these apart, I'm going to start removing these Phillips head screws that you see on the sides of the trim pieces here, and we'll see how they want to behave once I get those out. The story of these speakers is the original owner was going to a school in Philadelphia in the 70s, and on the side he worked at a hi-fi store, and the employee discount for hi-fi store employees was half off. So I believe he told me these were $650 new in 1975-ish. Yeah, he got a pretty good deal on these. He kept them for all these years until they got kind of tired and they're in the shape they're in now. And he's replacing them with Magnepan 3.7 I's, which is the latest 3 Series Magnepan speaker.
Taking the MG2s apart is fairly straightforward. However, I had to figure out how to do this as I took them apart in this video. First thing you need to do is remove all screws from the wood trim pieces around the perimeter of the speaker. The top piece has a screw on the very top, so if you're shorter like me, you'll want to make sure you get that screw out. Once all of the screws are out, you should be able to lift the top wood piece off, and then you should be able to lift the wood pieces on the sides up. Pull up on these pieces and they should slide right out of the metal bracket at the bottom of the speaker. Then, to remove the entire speaker body, loosen the flathead screws that hold the metal brackets to the speaker body, and then you should be able to lift the speaker body right out of the stand.
Okay, let's see if I can lift it out. Yes, perfect. Okay, so there it is. It's lifted right out. And now I just have this bottom wood piece here. That should come off with relative ease. Yep, just kicked it out with my foot. And then the previous owner said that he never stapled the socks back on, so I think at this point all I need to do is, I should have done this before, I gotta undo the speaker connections there, and then I can lift the sock off the speaker
And I should have it exposed. Should be a hole I can feed this through. Yes. Okay, perfect. And now I should be able to lift the sock right out of here. This corner. Okay, yep. We're moving now. And then I'll know which side is the front because the back has this hole for the speaker connection. And there you have it. There's your MG2 behind the scenes. Check it out. I'm gonna get this on the my professional stands here so we can get a better look at this thing. All right, the speaker is apart, and I can already tell why the treble wire is not working. And it's because if I zoom in right here, okay, we'll let the camera freak out for a second. Okay, now I gotta find it. You see that white stuff? Right, where's my hand? Right there. All that white stuff on this thin wire, that's corrosion, and that is why we don't have any audio moving through that wire. So that wire definitely needs to be replaced. The base wire, though, looks like it's in pretty good condition. Definitely going to need to be totally redone at a certain point. I don't know if right now is that point. It should be, but I don't know if you saw the last video I made on these Magnepans, but it's kind of a pain in the butt. So basically what I'm going to try to do today is I'm going to try to replace this wire. I'll remove it with the acetone, and I'll have to clean up these solder posts right here. This one and this one, because that is where the wire connects. You can see right here, there's the path it takes, and then it goes down some, and then it gets soldered to that post right there. Same thing over here. It comes off of the membrane, moves down here. Okay, actually it's that one. Never mind. It's not this one, it's that one. So, but yeah, same thing. I would solder it right there. I'm just gonna remove all that goop. And something I have left over from the other kit is goop that goes over that to keep it from corroding or whatever it is. So yeah, the base wires don't really have too much of an issue with the corrosion because, as you can see, they're kind of like speaker coil wire. They've got a coating on them, but it can happen. It happened with my MG1s, and it may eventually happen to these, but since this is just, I got these cheap, I just want them to run, basically. I think I'm just going to replace the treble wire here, because I don't know if you noticed, but there are a few sections on here where it is corroded, just like I pointed out earlier, so it really needs to be done. When we take apart the other speaker, we'll maybe get a chance to see, yeah, see there's some bad corrosion right there. When I take apart the other speaker, we'll get to see what might be causing that vibration, but with this one, I mean, I drag my fingers across, I don't feel any loose wires. It happens up here sometimes, they'll come off at these bends. None of them feel loose to me. Okay, we're gonna try to do the half butt fix. We'll see how it goes. So I got kind of lucky already. So the wire is very corroded and it's very, very thin, but I was able to kind of stick my nail under there and kind of start pulling, and well, without any acetone even, it's coming right off. I mean, so that makes my life a little bit easier. I'll be able to just well, if this goes well here, I will. Yeah, so all I need to do is clean this at this point. I don't need to use the acetone to help me remove the wire, so that's kind of nice. Yeah, with the MG1s, it did not come off this easily. It came off just in a horrible fashion, broke into a million pieces. This is fantastic. I'm having a great time. But we'll see if that continues when I get to this last pass, because that's where I see all the corrosion on the wire.
broke there. Let's see if I can get it back. I sure can. Okay, here's where I expect it to start breaking. Yep. See, because there's yeah, it's all white along there. It's all corroded, so... Well, that was fun while it lasted. I'll have to remove that wire the hard way, unfortunately. But, you know, who said this was easy, right? You may be thinking to yourself, man, this guy's garage is an absolute mess. And, well, you'd be right. Alright, so I got the fan going, because I'm back at it with the acetone. This stuff's kind of nasty, so lots of good ventilation so I don't breathe in too many fumes. Get my cotton balls ready. And a few Q-tips just in case. This is just to open the acetone because it's easier. Okay, so now all I do really is I soak this cotton ball in acetone. Use gloves if you have them. I don't have gloves. So then all you're gonna do is just clean it up until there is no more yellow stuff. See how that's already getting cleared up real nice right there? You can already see the strip magnets that make the speaker work. As you can see, one cotton ball's going a pretty long way so far. And yeah, I'm working to not take out too much of the glue on the first pass of the base wire there, because we don't want that, that's for sure. But gotta make sure we get everything around that last pass of the treble wire that I still need to remove. Yep, you can see it falling apart right there, so it'll come off in pieces, but what matters is that it comes off. Let's see, can I get that? Yeah, see? There, it's coming off with some relative ease right there. In some parts. There, so I'll just put those parts over there. We'll keep making our way downtown here. Now that we've got the wire fully removed, you see there's still a little bit of glue here that's left over, so we're going to take another cotton ball and we're just going to do a final cleaning pass because cleanliness is pretty important here with this. So get that loaded up and we'll just do this one more time. Make sure we get all of the acetone dissolved and removed from the speaker membrane. While trying to not disturb the first pass of the base wire too much, but if we disturb it a little bit, that's okay because we're going to be applying fresh glue here very soon. Still getting some there, so got a little bit of a ways to go. Okay, that was that says 15 minutes 40 seconds right there, so that's about what it took for the acetone rubbing to get all this stuff off. And maybe a little bit more right there could work. Yeah, you can see really clearly now what's going on behind this membrane. You can see behind this you can see now behind this membrane are these little magnets right here. They're in strips, and then there's a whole bunch of holes in between the strips, and that is where the sound comes through from the current being passed through this wire that's glued to this membrane. There's magnets there that create a magnetic field which allows for vibrations, and then since it's hanging out on this membrane, you know, it allows it to vibrate. So that is how a Magnepan speaker, or it's how a planar magnetic speaker works. There's plenty of others, but you know, Magnepan I think is the best known brand for such a speaker. So the next step before I get ready to tack this wire down is going to be to clean up these posts right here. these solder terminals, and I'm gonna get it so all this glue stuff is removed from them, and then I'll be able to feed the new wire ends through here and get them soldered on, and then put new goop on them to keep them protected. So I haven't done it this way before. The last time I did this, I just did away with all of this stuff and used brand new solder posts. So the way the instructions say to do it is they say to remove this stuff, they say to remove the old solder, and then resolder, and then recover. So we'll see how easy or difficult it is to remove this sealant. I'm gonna start by just kind of going under it with a flathead, and these are in my what tools do I use video. I've got that linked in the description if you want to get yourself these screwdrivers, which I highly recommend for really any job. Check out that video and you'll find that link in that video's description. Okay, so far this is looking pretty friendly. Maybe a heat gun would help, but I don't have one of those. I'm starting with this one because this one here is going to be a lot harder to do since it's got the working base wire attached to it, so I really don't want to ruin that one. But if I ruin this one, I can just wrap the new wire around that lead on the capacitor there, and it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, it's coming right off there. It's pretty nice. Okay, I think that's the bulk of the sealant now. It's been removed. I will attempt to get the stuff off of this one now too. And luckily the base wire is a lot hardier than this treble wire, so I'm not as worried about breakage, but if it does break, well, I am in trouble and that will be sad. So let's try to avoid sadness if we can. I'm tired of thinking with that. I think that if I get the soldering iron out, I'll be able to remove enough solder here and maybe get enough stuff removed from underneath. It might burn a lot and smell really bad because I'm sure there's still sealant underneath here that I can't see, but you know, it is what it is, and gotta get that new wire attached, so that's the approach I'm gonna take. So let me go get the extension cord and my soldering stuff and get to work here. Okay, I've got the Heiko FR300. I'm going to turn this up to the maximum temperature just so we get the best solder removal we can and the stinkiest we can also. So I guess I'll start here. I'll see if it starts melting it. Yeah, so at this point I can probably use my screwdriver to kind of get some of this old junk out of the way here. Okay, this is looking a little better. See if I can get underneath a little bit. Not getting too much luck, but so I think my ideal situation here is so I don't disturb the base wire. I want to try and open up the hole on the terminal here, if I can. Okay, so what I've got now is 3M Super 77. We've got the wire that came from the Magnepan MG1 kit, and as you can see there's a lot left because you don't need too much. And then this is the glue I'm going to put down after I put down the wire. The Super 77 is just to kind of allow it to tack in place, you know, let it kind of stay, and then so you can put this down and it's not going to go all over the place. Then this is what actually seals it to the membrane here. So what I'll do is I'll do a quick little of this, and then I'll start laying this down. And what I'm going to do is, if you can see, I'm going to try to get the wire in between the magnet strips there. So what's going on here is you've got the strip magnets here. You want to lay the wire down in between. You can kind of see where you've got these dotted lines here. Where my nail is landing, that is where the wire is going to go. And that's going to allow it to, you don't want to put it over the magnet because it's not going to allow you to create a magnetic field. You want it in between the magnets. So I'll get my adhesive down and I'll start tacking.
Okay, so I'd consider that shaken well enough. Get the wire ready. Undo it like this. Well, because they gave you this tape, and I'll want to hold on to this tape. And since I have a lot, I will definitely be leaving plenty at the end there for when it's ready to go. Alright, so here's what I'll do. I'll go like this. Okay, that'll be good. And now I can start tacking. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at this first one right here. And it's not really going to want to stick too much at first, but as you move along, I can kind of get it started there. That's going to want to stick a little bit more. Then I'll come along here. I'll do the same thing. Just going to put that down with my finger. Drag my finger across to get it to, you know, stick, kind of like a sticker in a way. Looks like I'm not exactly lined up there, but maybe I can come back and fix that. Yeah, just trying to stay as lined up with the spaces as I can. And if I'm going straight, leaving a little bit of tension in the wire, this shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so I'll come along. See, my finger wants to stick a little bit. That makes it kind of difficult. Okay, so now what you do here, this isn't too bad. You just kind of bring it around, hold it down with your one finger, bring it down again, you know, same thing. And there, look at that, I just created a bend. That one's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be. None of this needs to be totally dead on. This is a pretty forgiving process. I said that a million times in my MG1 video, and I'll say it here a million times too. This process is forgiving. If I screw this up, I've got enough wire, I can just start again and try again. Okay, I'll drag. Yeah, see, there's where I screwed up earlier. I left a bend right there, so we'll see if I can correct that later. Okay, I'm gonna switch fingers. You can see where the magnet ends too, so like you don't need to be anywhere where there's not magnet too, so that's kind of helpful. Okay, put that there. Let's keep it rolling. And yes, this is the hardest part. If you can make it past this part, you can do all the other parts. Alright. I'll switch hands. Leave my finger there. Let it go right down there. Okay. I am leaving a little bit of tension in the wire when I put it down, but not too much. Drag my finger across. Okay, and we'll put it down right there. Switch fingers. Do that bend until we see we are lined up with the magnet. Okay, didn't want to stop there too much. Switch fingers. Move along here. Uh-oh. I got off the track there, so we're We're going to come back off carefully. Yep. And then I'll put it back down. See, we're okay. See, we're able to take the wire off and put it back on. It's not a huge deal. Okay, we're getting ready for the last pass here, which is exciting. Because I'd like this to end soon, because this is, it's nerve-wracking. Okay, that looks good. Almost to the end here. We'll put some down right there. Drag across. And here's the home stretch, everyone. Now, if you recall, the original wire kind of left the speaker around right here. Come on, finger. See, I'm taking a lot of adhesive off with me, so it turns off right here. And then what I'll do at this point is I'll just leave this dangling down there, and we'll come back and we'll get this glued. Worry about that later. Now, I did mention that I wasn't terribly happy with how I did this first pass here, so I'm happy with it all the way up to like right here. I didn't really get it between too well, so what I'll do is I'll just pull it off like I did earlier. Okay, so happy with that. And then I'll just bring this back down so it's a little bit better lined up. Drag the finger. And there, fixed that because we're not fully glued yet. Okay, and there it is. The wire is laid down. Now we're gonna get ready for the 30 NF. So let me just kind of get this off of my fingers. It'll come off if you rub enough. This 30 NF is water soluble, and it says in the instructions to use one of these to apply this nice. So that's what I'll do after I get this mostly laid down. I will shake well. Yeah, see, water soluble in liquid state. So if you just wash out your brush when you're done, it should be okay. So I believe you can buy this stuff in store, but Magnepan, when they, oh boy, it's been a while. Uh-oh. Oh no. This is a problem. I wonder if my pipe wrench will open it. This is a dumb idea, right? This is working. Oh my gosh. Okay, we are gonna fix it today after all. Yeah, don't rely on this being easy to open if you haven't used it in a while, but okay, so now that we have that open, we can start by just kind of laying some of it down here. And we're just going to do this the entire length of the speaker. I'm definitely going to make sure I get some on that far pass of the base wire because of the acetone that came in close contact with it. We'll want to replace that adhesive. And down here I'll put a little bit of glue on the wire for now. Okay, so got that laid down. I'm going to take this brush just because I like the way it looks after you do this. I'm just going to drag it like this. See, look how nice that looks at the end here. And then once I've got enough glue kind of absorbed into the brush, I'll make one big pass. And then I'll just really make it look a little bit more professional. Not that this is professional, but you know, I do what I can. Alright, let's drag it.
lose that again. Oh yeah. And that's how you get the glue in there. So at this point, we just need this part to dry. While that's drying, I'm going to work on getting the ends here attached to our posts. Okay, so I'll start with this one first. I will cut the wire here. Here's the one end, move that out of the way. I think what I'll do here, we saw the old one, it kind of went under this little clip here. So I'll feed that through like so and not break it. My fingers still have a little bit of glue on them. And then what happened after that point is the wire was kind of wrapped around here, so I guess what I'll do now is just start wrapping the wire. We'll make sure this is all glued down real nice later. Okay, we'll do one more wrap. Well, we'll do a few more wraps. Feed it under, grab it, pull this around, tie it a little bit tight, not too much. What has that been? 5 passes? I think that's plenty. I think now what I want to do is try to get this wire situated now. I think they had the wire pass underneath this wire, but I'm not going to do that because that was probably just the easiest way to get it done in manufacturing. So I'm just going to go straight here. And I'll just wrap and wrap and wrap. I think I'll cut the wires at this point because they're ready for soldering. So this solder here is left over from what came in the Magnepan kit. I think that it's a special solder for this sort of job, but I'm going to use it because it came in the kit. This is going to look kind of goofy because this is not a soldering iron, but in my experience, this solder wants the soldering iron to be really hot, and I don't have a tip that's going to get hot enough on that iron, so this is what we've got. And this is what I'm going to use for this job, so I'm just going to get some heated up there, and hope it flows. Yep, we're flowing there. That's looking real good. I like it. Okay, hopefully that's enough. And over here, same deal. I'll just hope that this gets hot enough. Get some good flow. Hopefully. Come on, flow, please. I'm running out of solder, so I'm getting a little nervous. And this is where the repair went very south very quickly. I ran out of the proper solder for doing this job. Turns out there is a specific solder you must use when attaching this wire to these solder posts. I ran out of this solder from the kit. I tried my normal lead solder and it did not work at all, to the point where I actually completely botched the job and the speaker wires had to be connected through let's just say unconventional and unreliable methods in order for the speaker to work afterwards. I'm gonna post a picture of the Kester solder part number that you are supposed to use for this. I actually contacted Magnepan and asked them, what solder do you include with your kits? And this was their answer. So if you're doing this, don't think you can get away with some general solder. You need this very specific solder in order to get it to flow properly and actually create a reliable circuit with the wire that they use on these speakers. This is pretty ugly. This is very, very ugly. Alright, so it's been a minute. You see this is starting to dry here, looking a lot nicer. I've got this speaker apart, and like I showed you in the video recently, its vibration is coming from like right here. So what I want to do is I just want to remove all the glue from this area right here and then re-glue it and just, you know, see if it works, you know. If it doesn't work, that's not a big deal. I'll just buy a kit, I'll remove the new glue that I put on and call it good.
but for now, since I have limited parts and I don't want to buy a kit if I don't have to, I'm just going to give this a try. So. Alright, so here's what happened. It's a few days later now. I haven't had too much time to work on these, but I did test them. And this speaker right here, the one that has the tweeter redone, or the small wire, this speaker works now. It's got its high frequencies back. It sounds great. But as I thought would happen, doing this up here did not get rid of the rattling on this speaker. And I had plans to redo this wire while I had it apart because, you know, it's falling apart and corroding just like the other one did and will eventually fail. However, I ran out of the proper solder. So here's the plan with these speakers. I'm going to reassemble them. I'm going to do that off camera because, you know, they get put back together in the opposite way they were taken apart. Since I'm happy with the way these work now and how they will sound with the tweeter wire working on this one here, I'm just gonna run them. And then once the tweeter wire on this speaker goes bad, I will buy the kits from Magnepan and I will replace that and probably make a more detailed video on redoing the base wires on the speakers. And the reason I'm going to redo the base wires is because I think that is the only way you can actually get all that vibration out of these speakers, because it worked on my MG1s. It should work on these MG2s, completely replacing the base wire, which is, you know, the big one right here. That is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. In a future video, I will be putting these speakers against the MG1s and talking about the big differences between those two speakers and giving my take on which one I think is superior. Alright, I'll see you in the next one.